Thank you, Xavier. Sir, it's a pleasure for me to be introducing the chief guest of the day, the speaker, Maria Kuriakos. I first came across this name when Xavier Sir forwarded the article that appeared in the New Indian Express on the 10th of June this year, featuring TMA, the organization that Maria founded. And what struck me most about that article is that such a young lady, a vibrant looking lady, started a business like this in the hometown after spending time in other cities in India and also abroad. She homeland was calling. She came back here. She set up something uh, in a very niche area. Now that was what was standing out about that. And then we had a discussion. We said, we should get her into TMA to address the audience if possible. So that's how this happened. Now, speaking about Maria and her background, she did her economics from Saint Xavier's Institute in Bombay. After that, she did a one-year scholarship. It was a one-year MBA at, I don't know if I will pronounce this right, Comillas Pontifical Universidad in Spain. I hope I got it right, Maria. Anyway, she returned to India after that. Okay, good. With all these Spanish and French names, you have to keep your fingers crossed. She returned to India after that. She worked for Aon Consulting for 2 years as a leadership consultant. Then she switched roles. She went into Mayna Mahila Foundation as an operations manager. She worked for a while there in Mumbai. And it's after that she got a job with
Sir, please unmute. Please unmute.
Oops, sorry. I don't know how it went on mute.
No.
Should I rewind a little bit? What was the last that you heard?
No, you carry on, sir. Just a fraction of minutes.
Okay. After returning from Spain, Maria worked in Aon Consulting in Mumbai as a leadership consultant for 2 years. She worked as an operations manager at Mayna Mahila Foundation in Mumbai. And after that, she returned to our homeland, Kerala. She founded Tenga, which is an organization that employs artisans from different parts of Kerala, like Thrissur, Wayanad, Kottayam, and Alapura. What the artisans do is they take the byproduct of the coconut shells and other parts of the coconut, and they make um, you know sellable items from those, like teacups and bowls and candles and whatnot. And I'll let Maria speak about that. These products are sold on Amazon, Flipkart, and Instagram. So it's a very successful business, a very niche area, and we all are waiting to hear from Maria about that. Now, before I turn over to Maria for explaining her journey, I would like everyone to go on mute so that the session is not distracted. You can unmute yourself for the question and answer session after this. If you have any questions as we go along, you can also type them into the chat box, and we'll take it up after Maria is done walking us through her journey. So over to you, Maria.
Yeah. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you all for joining in for the session. And I also thank TMA for organizing this.
Maria, your voice is coming across as very feeble. Can you do something about that? Maybe get a little closer to the mic.
Louder, please, Maria.
Is it better now? Hello?
Slightly.
Slightly better.
Slightly? Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah, if you have a earphone, that'll be great, I think.
Hello, is it better now?
Okay, carry on.
Hello?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah?
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay, great.
Let's proceed.
Oh yeah, thank you all for joining in, and I would also like to thank TMA for organizing this session. So basically, what I would be doing is to share my journey as an entrepreneur and some of the learnings that I've had in the process. So just to introduce myself, I am from Thrissur. I did my schooling here at Nirmala Mata. And from a very young age, I have always been interested in business or starting something new. You're always passionate about having something of my own. But in school years, you do not receive much guidance on what business you could start. You always learn commerce or science or economics. But for someone who's interested in starting a business, there is not much support or a way ahead that you see through schooling. So economics was an interesting subject, so I pursued that for my graduation. I learned that St. Xavier's was one of the best colleges in India for economics. So I got selected there for BA economics, and I did my 3-year graduation there. So even at that time, while I was doing my economics, even in the 3rd year, I somewhere knew that still, economics is not the space. I had to be in a business space because that was my area, and I was not the best at economics. So in 3rd year, I came to know of a course in Spain, which is a 1-year MBA that Xavier's offers as a scholarship. So because that was something I was really done learning economics, because I realized it's not my space and I wanted to do something in the space of business. So this came up as an opportunity and I was really excited. I went for the interview and I got selected. So that's how I'm going to school. I did my business administration there. Yeah, but then it was about managing business. Even before that,
Maria, you are
VP,
disconnected. You are disconnected.
now, VP Joseph, sir, if you can go on mute, that'll be good.
Hello.
Maria, you're on mute.
Yeah, you are on mute,
Please unmute
Maria.
yourself
You are
and
on
proceed.
mute.
I think someone is muting it in between. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes. Yes, please proceed.
Yeah. So I was saying that after my economics, there was this opportunity to learn business administration in Spain. So I took that up and I went to Spain. So although there was a desire for me to start a business, I learned the business management techniques, which was more about managing a big business or marketing methods or market research, how you could do that in a more complex way. But I did not receive proper guidance on how I could start a new one of my own. So, although because business was an area of interest, I loved learning business administration. So I continued that course, completed that course and came back. Like anyone else, I sat for placements and I got a job in Aon Consulting. For anyone who wants to start a business, the path is not clear as to how you could take the first step. So since I did not have as much idea at that point of time, I took up my job in Aon Consulting. So I got a good job at a good company as a consultant, which normally a lot of freshers don't get an opportunity for. So that was a good, my friends and family, everyone asked me to take that up. I was also open to it. I worked there in Aon Consulting for a couple of years. So here I worked as a leadership consultant. Basically in MNCs, we would identify through different assessments the top level leaders who can be the next set of CEOs and CFOs. It was called leadership consultant and it came under HR. So for me, this experience was very helpful because I could listen to one of the best leaders in the industry, all top professionals from the biggest companies, about what they were sharing, their business ideas, their techniques, what helped them succeed. So, this was really inspiring for me. But, over a couple of years, this still came under HR, where I was assessing them, training them into leadership roles. So, HR is not my area. So after a couple of years, even that I felt disconnected to. I felt like I wanted to work somewhere else, be in a different space. So that is when on the side, I always used to research on entrepreneurship and about business ideas. So then the term called social entrepreneurship became very popular. So social entrepreneurship meant that you are solving a social problem, or you are impacting a group of people through your business, which I felt very passionate about, because since a young age and even also in college, I loved teaching slum girls English, or going for cleaning drives. I was always passionate about helping out, or working for the social cause. So to know that my professional and passion towards social work can come together and be a career like social entrepreneurship was very exciting for me. So I researched more about it, and I found that there's this organization called Maina Mahila Foundation in Mumbai. So there was a girl of my age who started her own business. Her business was to bring together slum women from slums of Mumbai, and they would manufacture sanitary pads through a semi-automatic machine and sell it in their area. So this initiative would earn money for the slum women and also improve accessibility of sanitary pads in that area. And in that area, because it was a remote slum, sanitary pad accessibility was low. So this, I worked there for 2 years, which was really, like, for me, that was my MBA, to be frank, because more than what I had learned abroad while I was working on the ground, managing the production, managing sales, managing the group of women who were working with us, HR, marketing, production, sales, everything came together, finance, accounts. I used to manage everything, because all the other women were slum women who used to look up to us for everything. They were not educated. So, at a young age, me and Suhani, who's the other founder, we both used to manage all the tasks. So, this was very helpful for me. For me, this was impactful than school or college education, the corporate experience that I had for a couple of years, and also, working in the startup. Real life practical experiences helped me learn. So here later, as we started this business, as it was 1 year down the line, major chains like Stay Free and Whisper started coming in. So we had to compete with large pad making companies who used to make pads with large machines with that had a lot of crores of investment. So they would churn out lakhs of pads in a minute, but we had women making it with their hands. So that that would churn out a few thousands. So the cost at which, sorry. So the cost at which they were making and the sanitary pads, Stay Free or Whisper, was much lower than the cost that we had. So here that I realized that it was important, as I was working here, it was important to do market testing before we finalize an idea. So we had decided to start a pad manufacturing unit. We bought the machine, the raw material to make it. We finished manufacturing, and as we started introducing it into the market, did we realize that the cost of making the products in a semi-automatic way is more expensive than a large-scale machine like Whisper or Stay Free, the machines that they had. So this was an important learning lesson. And we were a social. Sorry, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Hi, sorry. That was an important lesson that I learned at that time. Making products is easy, but selling and marketing is the most difficult part. The business side of things started look more challenging, and the business focused more on the NGO side of things. They were funded by. Sorry.
Unnatan, if you can go on mute, that'll be good. Thank you.
Thank you. When I was working there in that startup, the business side of things started looking challenging. So they focused more on the NGO side of things, which is spreading awareness, because the girls, they didn't know much about menstrual hygiene. So they were more going into the social work side of things. And because I was someone who was always passionate about business, I realized that I had to move on and do something else, because as a business, it wasn't successful. And it has always been a long desire that I wanted to start my own business. So I used to think about what I could proceed with. I was, talking to myself about what I was passionate about, what I could start, what's the next step that I can take. So, I would extend I had a timeline as to I would quit my job and start my business, but that used to get extended because I wasn't really sure what exactly to work on. When should I quit my job? Do I really have the courage to stop and take up a startup as my career? So every day the days would get extended, and one day, mostly because I had several ideas. One day I would think of a zero waste shop. Second day I would think of working on coir products or coconut water or coconut charcoal. So every day I would have a new idea, and it was very difficult for me to finalize on which exactly do I work on. I knew I was passionate about products from Kerala. I wanted to work on natural products, but which one exactly do I zero in on and start work with? So that was really challenging, and I would just keep brainstorming, researching, where to the point that it was difficult for me to make a decision. So I told myself, there are several ideas. It is important to test the market for each of these products. How do we test the market? Because I could be passionate about coconut water, but you need to see if people want to buy packaged coconut water. So what I did was I listed down a few of the ideas that I wanted to proceed with. Most of this, because I was into a natural and eco-friendly lifestyle, most of the ideas surrounded around that. So, I looked into coir products, I looked into coconut water, I looked into natural food products that are healthy. So for each of these products, I did a market study. So first, coconut water actually was my first idea before coconut shells came into place, because I was thinking that compared to other juice products in the market, coconut water is not as popular. So, why not popularize it? Why not make packaged coconut water? So what I did initially was that I went to a coconut water manufacturing plant in Kerala, in Palakkad. I visited the production, the owner and the production manager. I tried to understand how the process went, how was their experience. So speaking to them, I came to know the challenges. Actually, they also just decided to start a business, bought the machine from the Coconut Development Board, and then later realized that actually the machine was not at all advanced. So they had to do a lot of work themselves to finally getting a running machine. So production was not happening on one side, plus they were not getting any revenue. So once the products came out, marketing it was another challenge. So how do they market it? Going to kirana stores, trying to sell these products, they were not getting as much revenue. So then they later moved to a model where they're only doing production and other major brands buy from them and they market it. So later I came to understand that most of the major brands that are there, they just procure from suppliers, brand the products, and then sell it as theirs. So initially you would think, these people are actually not making it, we should directly get it from the supplier. This is really just middlemen making money. And just initially that was my thought, that the major brands are just taking from other suppliers, where the credit should go to them. But then I later realized that production has its own challenges, marketing and branding has its own challenges. So doing both together is actually almost not possible in a lot of fields, especially in coconut water, or in most of the food production industries like Haldirams, they don't have their own production unit. So I realized that, okay, now production is different, branding is different. I now have to decide which space I have to get into, either the production space or the branding space. So, from him, I realized that he now only does production and sells it to major brands who sell the product as theirs. So I came back to Mumbai. This is all this I am doing while I was working in Mumbai on the side, because this is burning desire, but I did not know which idea to zero in on. So I was going one by one, studying different markets. So I came back to Mumbai, and there was this brand called Mojoko who sells coconut water. So I went there saying that I'm a student and I want to intern with them. My major idea was to understand, how was the market, how many people were actually buying packaged coconut water versus the natural one. So I went there as an intern. Basically, I wanted to be a sales intern. I went to supermarkets, and there they would give the coconut water to customers to taste in small glasses. They would ask them to try, taste it, and then they would see how many people would buy after tasting it. So there was these marketing people who were there. So I used to stay with those girls, or also actually be that person who's actually serving coconut water to these customers. The major idea was that for me to understand after, if say 10 people actually tasted coconut water, how many bought, or what was the response that they got. So with respect to the coconut water industry, I got the back-end information of how production is happening, what people are doing, and what major brands are doing. And on the sales side, I actually looked into what actual customers, how they are reacting to the product. I got a 360-degree view of this industry. So, although people bought coconut water, not everyone was into, buying it. It was not a, product that got sold off the shelves. You need to put in a lot of effort to actually convince people to buy a packaged coconut water. So somehow I was not fully convinced of the marketing possibilities. There are brands who are successful, but I didn't feel like a new person like me can add a lot of value there. And then, so the next option that I had was coir products. What I would do is during the weekends, I used to do this. On the weekdays, I used to work in the startup. During the weekends, I got a few coir products from Alappuzha. So they have the major coir hub. So these coir products, mainly gardening articles. So these gardening articles I would take and go to nurseries in Mumbai. So in the nurseries, I would go and I had created a catalog. If they order 100 pieces, this is the price. If they order 10 pieces, this is the price. And I would go there saying that I'm a supplier of coir products and I would like you to buy. So they saw the price list and I hardly got any orders. The reason why is because they are getting it for a much cheaper price from Pollachi. So, I realized that being a dealer for it, I can't definitely directly get into manufacturing. So even if I had to be a supplier, there is not much space because of the cheap labor in Pollachi. So, if at all I had to do anything, I had to do there. In Kerala, it was nearly impossible. I had dropped that sector. Then I looked into food. I also interned in a healthy food startup for a few months to understand the challenges. Then I also tried areca leaf products. I sold it on Amazon and Flipkart for a few months to test the market. And somehow, while I was testing the areca leaf products, I accidentally bumped into coconut shells. So basically, I was working on areca leaf products, and I was in Kerala, and I saw these coconut shells. And with the help of my dad, I created a few samples of the coconut bowls. It was something that I was doing on the side, not that I had thought of it as a full-time business. Areca leaves was products I was trying to market it through different online channels, and it was okay. I had not finalized that as the idea that I wanted to fully devote my time on. But it was going okay. A few people were buying. I was doing retail. I was getting it from a few suppliers in Thrissur. And coconut shell bowls on the side, I just created a few samples. So I'll show you a sample. So this is one sample of a coconut bowl of a small size. So I created this sample with a basic sanding machine. I had taken off the hair from the coconut shell and sent it to a few businesses on the side. By this time, I quit my job in Mumbai because I knew, okay, I had researched a few areas and, I have few insights on what I want to invest my time in. By that time, I quit my job in Mumbai and I came back to Kerala to start work on it. And so when I sent the samples, it was not as finished as this product. It was coarsely finished because I had done it myself. And I sent it to a few eco-friendly businesses. And even though it was a semi-finished product, both the businesses that I sent samples to were interested to buy. And they asked me for the price.
Mr. Rajesh Jack, please go on mute. Mr. Rajesh Jack, please go on mute.
Okay, thank you. So, both the businesses actually bought, which helped me realize, okay, even though this is a specific market that no one has really tried, because people would never expect coconut shell bowls to be a successful business. But eco-friendly businesses both ordered for 50-50 bowls. So at that time, I made a few samples from a coconut shells I had in the backyard at my home. I did not have those mini shells. So, as a business person, I was very happy to get an order, with a sample that I did not expect orders for. I took those products. I went to, family members' houses to collect these shells. I went to a few oil mills, people who are dealing with coconut oil, because once you give them this size, this is the size of the shell that you have to give. You can't give a slightly bigger size shell and say that, okay, I can't mix everything and give. If I've committed to this size, I have to give them this size. So I was running around finding the shells of this size. It was not easy. It was really not an easy task because we had minimal machinery to sand it. So I had to sit for a few weeks, day in and day out, to actually make that first batch of 100. It was quite a challenging task. But as I sent these out, they were happy with the quality. They were interested in buying more. So which made me realize, okay, this is a product which has good timing, because people are now looking for Hello.
Yeah, please proceed.
Yeah. People now are looking for alternatives from plastic or wood. Like, for example, wood products, the trees need to be cut down to make them. So to make a coconut shell bowl, it's already a waste product. So they're trying to find products that has the least carbon footprint. So this was the right timing, because for me, I realized that to understand which product had the right timing, products, if people are easily, buying it from us, irrespective of how much we market, because right now, when compared to areca leaf products, I try to market it a lot, trying to promote using areca leaf boxes when compared to plastic boxes. But the orders were minimal. But here I just created a few samples and people were really coming to me for orders, which meant that the market timing for this product is right. And one major thing is there is not much competition. Areca leaf products have been in the industry for very long and there were many people playing in this space. But coconut shell products is eco-friendly, yet there are not many players in this market. It's a new space. So hence people are coming to me because there is not many other suppliers who are reliable. So that is when I understood this is what I should work on, and spend my time into developing more things. So from there, that was the first order that I received. From there, as I received more orders, I realized that if I was to focus on producing these bowls, which means that today the order is 100, for which it took a week to 10 days, all my time to make those products. Tomorrow, if there is an order of 500 or 1,000, I would never be able to fulfill it. I can't be spending my time toiling around making these bowls. I had to spend my time marketing. So what I did was I found first one artisan from Thrissur who was already into coconut shell craft. So they used to make all these coconut trees or flowers and some other things with coconut shell as coconut shell craft. They used to get a few orders from resorts, but it was not a reliable work that they would get all the time. The rest of the time, they would just go for construction work. So, I found this person. I told them, I can give you more orders for coconut shell products, but you'll have to work in the way in the product specifications that I give. So I gave them the idea. It should be a 300 ml bowl, cut at this height, polished only with coconut oil without any chemicals, what the finishing should be. Everything I had conveyed based on the requirements that urban consumers have. And they were able to create those products for me. So this helped me have a very reliable production team in the back end, where I had to focus on promoting these products to different channels, to good hotels, 5-star places, resorts, and also in retail for people who are into healthy eating. Because people like to have smoothies, fruits, or salads from a coconut bowl because they're anyway into a healthy and eco-friendly lifestyle. So they love to try something like this. So, targeting those segments, I was able to focus on that. On the back end, because I did not have to manage production, slowly I started increasing the number of artisans. So currently we have a team of 12 artisans who are creating products for TMA. And we, as we go, we are trying to develop more products. So what my role is really being a connect between the urban customer, because
most of our 95% of our customers are not from Kerala. They're from outside Kerala or outside the country. So, for rural artisans to get a connect with them or to understand their preferences is very difficult. So what I was able to do is be that connect, understand the pulse of the market, understand where the market is going, and accordingly guide the artisans to create products like that. So, as we went ahead, we created more and more products. Like Francis was saying that we created these candles from coconut shells, and different shapes had their own names. Like this would be a mini size bowl, and this would be a jumbo size. So people often ask me, do you get coconuts of this size? Is this really a coconut or is this a plastic bowl? So this is because these coconuts are from Vietnam. So we get shells from Vietnam and we polish it. The artisans make it here in Kerala. So these bowls can hold around 900 ml quantity. So, this was a mini bowl, there's a jumbo bowl, then there are longer cups, longer coconut shells. We cut the top off and this becomes the cup. So based on the shape of the coconut, every coconut is different. So unlike a machine-made product, every coconut.
Starting Jason,
Mr. Rajesh Jack, again, if you can go on mute.
Yeah, thank you. So, so based on the shape of the coconut, we would develop it into certain products. Few would be used for candles, few for jumbo bowls, few for mini bowls, few for making planters where you can keep plants in. So currently we're also developing containers, that is coconut shell with a lid, with a rubber lid for containers. So, different shapes are used for different things. So you have to firstly not just take a base coconut shell and create a product. You have to categorize these shapes. There is a heap of coconut shells. You can't use all products, just take a shell and make a bowl out of it. Which category does it go into? See if the shell is thick enough. So all this work initially, I used to do it myself. If that continued until now, it would be very difficult for me to grow TMA into a bigger brand. Because the artisans take care of that work, I am able to work at the front end and market it to more people and make it into a bigger brand. So this lesson I had learned about production and marketing through my experience, experimenting different products through my work experience in my previous startup, that, so if you're trying to brand the product and make it big and also do production in the back end, it is very difficult to handle all tasks. When TMA becomes a bigger brand and we are able to manage marketing, if without me being involved, there's a marketing team that can manage all these things, definitely we can consider a large scale production plant. But at an initial stage, we definitely, have these artisans working individually at their own places, and they know these material well because they've been working with it for very long. So how it reacts with heat, how it reacts with cold temperatures, everything they're aware of and they can take care of it. So over the time we've received very good response. A few orders from Kerala, but mostly outside Kerala and outside India. Really good response and positivity about what we are doing. So I feel happy that through the work, it's always been a dream to start a social enterprise. So through our work, to able to support artisans and improve their employment opportunities and higher wages through this initiative is something that I'm very happy about. A lot of people always also ask me, okay, you say it's a waste product, but it still costs 350 rupees or 400 rupees. Why is that? People often think that, okay, coconut shell would come at 80 or 90 max. This is because those prices that you see on our websites include everything from, sorting the right coconut shell, making it, what goes to the artisans, when it comes to our office, to the courier charge that when it reaches your home. Everything included is the 350 rupees. The packaging box, the person who's managing accounts, everything together. So it does take a lot of effort. Although it seems easy, the time that goes into creating the product is a lot more. So hence the price. And I think even though you pay that price, it is not a product that you need to, that should be discarded in a year or two. This is a product that lasts several years. So, it is more like an investment than, just an expense or a luxury. And even at the end of the life of the product, if it's a steel or a glass or a wooden product, or steel or glass, it's always a challenge to dispose it. Say it's broken, a glass product is broken, you never know how especially with our current waste management systems, you do not know how you can dispose it unless you throw it off on the roadside. So with a coconut shell product, you can just break it into pieces and mix it with your soil. So it is something that is aesthetic, beautiful, and also doing something that's better for the environment and also for the artisans in Kerala. So, this has really been my journey, and it has been a very positive experience. So a few of the lessons that I've learned on the go is that one is the importance of market testing, because a lot of people always say, choose something that you're passionate about, do what you love. Those things are important, but before you finalize on the idea and you put big investments into it, test if people actually buy that product. Create a small prototype, go to customers, see what their response is. If you have an idea in mind and you just go to people who you know and ask them, oh, would you buy this product? People usually don't give the right answers because they know you well, or they might not want to make you feel bad, so they'll just say yes. So people are actually taking money out from their pockets and giving it to you, and how easily do they do it? If you need to put a lot of effort to convince one person, then it's going to be a challenge when you actually start a business and start selling. When there is lack of sales, you will get demotivated and there is a tendency to stop the business. So first, test the market. People, when they think of starting a business, they'll think of taking the GST number, building the website, investing in the office, your visiting card, all of those things that come with it. But first, see, this is for people who are starting, young like me. I had gone to real customers. It was initially very difficult, acting like I'm a supplier and going there and trying to sell the products. But that really gave me the experience and the understanding of how people respond to different products. And only when I came to a product which easily got sold from me did I finalize, okay, this is it and this is what I want to work on. And the timing of the product should also be important. Is the time, you might have the best team, you might have the best product, but if the timing of the product is not right, it will not still work. So when you actually go to a customer and see how easily they are buying, you will know if the market is right for your product. So have a few ideas that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, test the market, and only then go into the next steps of setting up a business or proceeding. And the second is, for me, people usually say that education is very important, but for me, what has helped me set up this business is not education. For me, it has been really the experience that I've had on the field, working in the corporate sector, working in the startup, going to different people, meeting, speaking about their experiences. I'm someone who learns by doing. So, that has really helped me understand, these business concepts, because otherwise, initially what I used to think as a school student who was always into, businesses, I have to create the best product and that's it. People would come and buy. That's what you think about. But only in the long run do you realize that, as you start working and when you get practical experience in a business, do you realize that making products are easy. Selling it is the most difficult part. So, those learnings actually no school or college gave me. This is what I learned by being on the field and talking to people and understanding how different businesses work. That is very important. So more than education, practical real life experience really helped me. And third thing is always make your own decisions. This is more for young students or kids who want to, decide what you want to do in life. There'll be always people who tell you, okay, this is what has more scope, take this up. This job has more possibilities. All that is good, but if you don't choose a field that is your space, like I had chosen economics, I'd worked in a corporate job, it was not my area. I would be an average performer. I would not be bad, but I would be an average performer, but I would not be best at those roles. I'm best at what I'm doing currently, and hence I'm able to add more value to things. So always make your own decisions, take suggestions from people, and try to make your own choices. So I've seen a lot of young students who say, I wanted to take up fashion designing or I wanted to take up animation, but my parents didn't let me. And that's why I am in engineering or something else. So I think as young people who are passionate about doing what they like, the generation is changing. People are trying to find jobs that has meaning. So there is a high chance, even with my startup, I wasn't sure that I would be 100% successful. After 100 businesses, 90 businesses fail. So there is a high failure rate when you're trying to do something new. But, without trying, you never know. It is okay. I think it is important to take things as an experiment, at least try. It is okay to fail, but only if that failure happened, can you take the next step for improving yourself in the space that you like. So, always make your own choices. But because after a long period, say you're 40, 60 years old, then, there is no point having regrets. Try, fail, you can rise again, you can change your fields, but always make sure what you have in mind, what is aligned to your passion and the skill set. Every person is different. Every person has different skills. Follow those skills, follow those passion, and don't be afraid to fail, because only then you can take the next step to the success, to be successful. And success doesn't come in, because I started this in 2019. It doesn't come in one day. There are a few, everything together may seem too big. Okay, there's a GST registration, I have to market it, I have to get products from the artisans, I have to find artisans. There's a lot of things that come to you when you're starting a business. Just list it down one by one, focus one thing at a time, and go there step by step. It takes time to reach where you want to go. So if you're patient and if you can put that consistent effort into it, even after, if at all there are multiple failures, you'll definitely be where you want to be. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you very much. I am definitely open to any questions.
Thank you, Maria. That was a very inspiring talk, straight from the heart. You spoke about your personal experiences. I think that was extremely good. One of the best sessions I've seen, I've attended so far. Thank you for that once again.
Maria,
now.
Yeah,
Maria, it was a wonderful presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And as Francis said, it all has come from your own heart,
Yes.
not what you have studied. Okay.
Yes.
Very wonderful, really inspiring, really motivating. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Maria, it's a wonderful talk. I want to say a couple of things.
Yeah, sure.
Long time back, about 15 years back, we had a very, very large workshop in Calcutta in the armed forces. All leading artists, painters, musicians, they came. So one question was asked to all of them: to succeed in life, what is the most important requirement? The answer was you should be able to dream big. Unless you can dream big, very happy that you had this dream right from your childhood to do something for yourself. Second is a suggestion. See, from even our own childhood, the most common item from coconut shell, which was used in every household, was in Malayalam Cherata Kail. Have you seen that? Okay, anyway, I want to suggest that. Then another two things here, like you said, harmonize your natural talent. See, when you grow up, you know that what you are good at. Then try to harmonize that into your goal. You will be able to succeed. And last is that learn to learn yourself. Don't depend on every time others to tell you what is to be done. See, unless you learn to learn yourself, it will be very difficult. And then success in life depends on three factors: fate, 10%, effort, 80%, and the right time, 10%.
Yes.
So most important, and I'm very happy that you have come through. It's actually an inspiration for all other youngsters. Anyway, all the best. God bless, child.
Thank you very much, sir. It's nice hearing from you.
Sir, her grandfather was a second lieutenant.
Yes.
Oh, of course, she has some army blood in her. Good thing. That gives her two qualities. One is perseverance and never say lose.
Yes. Yes.
Perseverance is very important. And second is never give up. These two are the two important mottos in army. I'm happy that she has inherited those two. Okay.
Yes, yes. I have a few Army, Navy, Air Force people in my family.
Okay. You can have one more. You can have one more from today.
Thank you.
Adopt it.
Yes, Francis sir.
Okay. But Maria, we have a couple of questions that came in.
Sure, sure.
The first one is now there is a contentious issue. How there's a contentious issue. I suppose it's Kitex that is being referred to. How would you rate our state from an ease of doing business angle?
How do you? Sorry, I didn't get it. How do you?
How do you rate our state with regards
How
to
do you
ease
rate
of
the
doing
state?
business?
Regarding Kitex.
Very tricky question to ask.
I mean, I think because I work in an online space majorly, because none of my clients are from Kerala, I've not had so much, interaction with officials or, taking licenses or anything. Most of it is online. So, it's just courier companies where I, have a stock of products at a certain space. They pick up the products, they deliver it to the customer. I coordinate with the artisans. So unfortunately, I have not had, any comments or insightful comments on this one because I've not had to face any of the issues because it's an online new generation business. I'm not having a production unit in one place, or I've not set up a shop, or I do not deal with the local employees directly. So, hence I do not have comments on this, but I have had a very good experience overall with the people that I've dealt with so far.
Okay, that's good to know. It was a tough question anyway. It was probably tougher to answer this than starting your business, So,
Yeah.
All right. The next question is, can you explain more on the pricing methodology at a startup level? So, how do you measure and justify the value of the product that you provide?
To be frank, when I started out, people often ask me, okay, you have to start a business. Don't you need investment, cost of capital? So, those things actually didn't come in picture for me because I was working on a waste product, which I was collecting, running around from house to house. So it was a free product for me initially. And then I used to make it, and the customer once, I didn't know people would buy. They just asked me what price it is, and I just said a price out of my mind because I didn't want to.
You're on mute now, Maria.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
we can now.
So, that is how I started out, just guessing the price that I could say. But actually, it was much lower than the effort that I was putting in and the time that was going into creating those products. So, it started out like that. But for that client, still, I continue at that first price because he was my first client. And, that gave me the confidence to continue. But after that client, what I do is calculate the time that goes into the product, the time of the artisans collecting the raw material, how difficult it is to find a certain, say, a cup is more difficult to find than a bowl. So how much time would go into identifying that shell? So I would calculate the cost of gold, and 30% margin is what I try to maintain. I add that with other expenses like courier, packaging, the staff. That is what I try to maintain, a 30% margin.
Okay, good. So trial and error and cost accounting principles.
Yes.
In brief. Okay.
The combination.
That question was from, okay. That question was from Smita. The same person has asked another question. Do you think there is any scope for social enterprises or CSR jobs in the Gulf? And I suppose it's based on your experience in the Gulf, the marketing in the Gulf. I don't know if you're in a position to answer this, but yeah.
Yes. Is there any scope for social enterprise and CSR jobs?
Yes.
Jobs, right? Yes, definitely. I think in the social enterprise space also, if you see a lot of social enterprises that claim to be a business are actually backed by CSR funding. They're not really a business or a sustainable thing. So I think when you try to be a social enterprise, it is important to be sustainable. That is, you're staying profitable. So that comes first. You have to they both. For example, for me, I focus on eco-friendly products. So you have to be eco-friendly, but if it is at a price that would that my costs are going so high and that I'm not relevant in the market, that becomes one challenge. So if you are a sustainable social enterprise, it will really help you in expanding more and create more job opportunities. But definitely, I think the CSR funds are now not more looking towards social enterprises than NGOs, which are just paying money or just giving services. Social enterprises create value. They employ people, create products. There is value creation happening. So overall, in the CSR industry, while I was working in the previous NGO, people are tending towards social enterprises than supporting NGOs. But as a social enterprise, I think a lot of the social enterprises that companies are investing in are not profitable. They're trying to solve a social problem, but it is important to balance the business side of things and the social side of things. You have to be profitable to be sustainable and to grow at scale. If you're not sustainable and you are only focusing on the social issue, you will just remain at that one branch. So it is important to balance the social side and the business side of things.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. The next question is from Dr. Biju CV, a professor in Jyoti Engineering College. Since you're depending on different artisans, how do you ensure the reliability and consistency of the product?
So initially, I go to the artisan's workshop. I show the product. I see if they can develop those products. We have a certain standard guidelines as to which diameter, what height, what finishing. So these people know because they've been working in this space how to develop. So initially, we have a meeting with them. We go to their workshop, and once we see that they're able to create the products as per the quality standards that we have, then we don't do a lot of workshop visits. From there, they supply the products directly to us. And in case we are facing quality issues regularly, then we always highlight it to them, because then it is a fault from their end. We've conveyed everything. We reduce the quantity of orders that we give them.
Thanks, Maria. The next question is from Major General MNG Nair. Would you like to utilize the environmental consciousness of the clientele or utility of the product more in marketing? So environmental consciousness versus the utility of the product.
I think if the product utility is low, I think maybe a few people might buy it initially for the environmental consciousness, or maybe to show off to a few people, okay, that you invested in an eco-friendly product. But after a point in time, in the long run, if you want to grow at scale, if it is not practical, then there is a stage at which your growth will be stuck. So I think I focus more on the utility side of things, because even though we are eco-friendly, that is one thing. I want to compete with other products made with wood, glass, or steel. And when compared to these products, I want to ensure that it's not that you have to use it because it is eco-friendly. You have to use it because the utility is as good as these, plus it is eco-friendly is an added bonus. So utility definitely comes first, because as a business, you have a commitment towards the environment, but also towards the customer to give the best product at the best price. So we have to ensure that the products that they receive, they're completely satisfied. So utility definitely is a major priority for me, because if you're only focusing on being eco-friendly, then in the long run, people might say, I'll try, but they will eventually switch back to steel and glass or wood or other products, because obviously people, have limited time, with that to manage a poor performing product because it is eco-friendly. It is a huge ask. So utility definitely has a major priority, and on the side, we are improving the level of eco-friendliness that we have with the products.
Okay, thank you. that's the end of the questions in the chat box. If anybody else has any questions, if you would unmute and Maria, do you have time to take another 1 or 2 questions? We are over an hour now.
Definitely.
May I ask one question, please?
Yes.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Maria, it's a very fantastic narration, and at this age, you walked through a very long way with a lot of trials and researches.
Thank you.
Okay, my question is, you see, Kerala is a tourist destination, and we are pioneer in tourism. So one field lacking in the tourism industry in Kerala is the souvenir industry. Because you go to Paris, you see a lot of monuments or souvenirs with the Eiffel Tower or something. And you go to Venice, you get the gondola. Similarly, lot of every tourist centers have their own souvenirs. I say that there is a very good scope for the souvenir industry with the cognations. So a lot of people started, but it was not succeeded because even I am a tourism man, and even I used some of this for my hotel in-house products like keychains and all this one. But the quality was so bad, and because within a year or something it got rusted and it has become useless. So why can't you look into this souvenir industry also, which is a very tremendous market in Kerala?
Yes. I think as a brand, when we started, the idea for us was to focus on products for everyday use. That is home and kitchen essentials. So TMA was marketed as a brand for home and kitchen essentials, your utility products made in an eco-friendly way. So, this is a space that we initially did not plan on entering, but definitely as things proceed, I think once in the home and kitchen essential area, we are able to cover all products. The second plan that we had was toys for kids, small rattles for kids, that, other toys that we can develop, because parents usually love eco-friendly options than a plastic toy. And also once a kid is grown up, you have to discard all these plastic toys. So replacing plastic toys is a second option that we had. This is definitely a new space, which frankly I had not thought of, because I think personally also, because I used to see all these art and craft things lying here and there made of coconut shell, which not a lot of people chose to buy. I think foreigners definitely is a good market. When people outside come and buy, that's definitely a good market. So when the tourism industry expands and there are more tourists in Kerala, we'll definitely consider a tie-up and work on such products.
Thank you, Maria. It should be a very satisfying experience connecting these small artisans to an international market, right?
Yes.
Something
yes.
that they could never dream of themselves.
Yes.
It's
So
a very noble thing that you're doing.
essentials, actually a lot more inquiry from international clients than domestic. The volume that they ask for is quite huge, 5,000, 10,000 pieces, which we are not able to manage production for. But there is good competition from countries like Vietnam and Indonesia because the cost of labor is low. So we have to be competitive in terms of pricing too. But the inquiry from foreign clients are quite high.
Okay, Francis.
There's one more person who had raised the hand. Let's take one last question, Xavier, sir, if that's okay.
Yeah. The last question. Okay.
Last question, yeah. Somebody raised the hand. The name showed as Galaxy J7 Pro, I think. So couldn't identify the person.
Okay, move to the next agenda.
Okay, I think that's it. So if you don't mind, just one last question from me. Maria,
Sure.
I'm sure there were a lot of naysayers, right? When you decided to quit your job and you were about to start on your own. I'm sure a lot of people discouraged, including friends and family and roommates and countrymen. So how did you handle that?
So I think the startup that I worked for, I was more like the main person in charge. So my parents, when they heard that I wanted to quit and start, I think general feedback from my parents and others was to they also recommended that I work from home and continue, and on the side I could experiment on the business. The startup wanted me to continue work from home even when I was in Kerala researching on the products. That was a general suggestion. So I think I thankfully had the space and freedom to make my own choices. So I've always been brought up in a space where my parents would suggest, but then ended with, now do what you think is right. They would always end it with that statement, you should, now you can decide what you want to do. So that statement, because I grew up with that statement always, making my own decisions, that helped me have the courage to say, I think I know. And you always know inside, but it's just that it is a little too scary to understand if that's actually the right decision. So because it's been so long that I wanted to start a business and I've not been, because I was scared to take the first step, it was more, I was at that point where, enough is enough. I am just going to focus on what I want to start, because I've been wanting to start, but I just didn't get the guidance or the right way. Otherwise I would have started a lot sooner. So I was at that point. So although I did get suggestions on what I was trying to do, or they were doubtful if this really will be they thought it'd be a pastime but not really a profitable business idea. But all that, I don't take it in a negative way, because they're definitely concerned about my future and what I could do. But what why I was confident in moving ahead is because I told myself that this is an experiment. There is a high chance that you will fail, but it's okay, at least you tried. So I went in with that attitude. So that attitude helped me, say no to other suggestions and proceed with the idea.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's. It was a wonderful session, Maria. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of time. So
Yeah,
let's
sure.
come
Not
to
a
the
problem.
conclusion.
Thank you.
I would like to call upon. Sorry, so you were saying something?
I want to tell Maria that you are the right candidate for becoming the member of TMA. And when you become the member of TMA, you'll get a lot of ideas, because all are very big professionals. So I shall ask Sushma to send a application form to you. So become a member of TMA. Very good. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
We would love to have you as a member, Maria. All right. For concluding, let me call upon Mr. Pratap Borki, the Honorable Secretary of TMA.
No, sir. Before that, two more agenda. One, regarding the management voice. It is not mentioned.
Oh, I'm sorry. I understand.
And presentation payment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to call upon the President, Dr. V.M. Xavier, for publication of, publishing the management voice.
Yeah, officially today we are publishing the third volume of the management voice. Today our the convener, the editor, chief editor is not present here because he is attending another class at IEM Calcutta. So this time we have nearly 7 articles. One is written by VP Nandakumar, a suggestion for RBI's regulations. That is the name of his article. And CAT has an article, car ownership options. The third one is by Dr. Taco Joes. Today, he has become the principal of St. Louis College. Today is a very important day for him. And he has written an article called Emerging Knowledge Economy. And the fourth article was written by, it is not an article, it's an interview with Mr. Murali Ramakrishnan of the MD of South Indian Bank. It is about the digital marketing revolution. And of course, our former editor, Dr. P.S. Krishnamurthy, also has written an article, The Dynamics of Full Engagement, how the body and mind was together. And our senior member engineer, VRU Manor, has written an article, A Peek into My Professional Career, and where he suggests we want to update the curriculum. And the last one, but not the least, that is written by Mr. Mohan Chandra C about the customer service. So these are all the new articles that you find, and in TMA nowadays we get a lot of articles from very learned people. And of course, along with that, we find the president's message, secretary's message, that quiz competition, and editorials, advertisements. So our management voice is really a good one. And for the coming management voice, of course, the articles are coming up. Of course, our manager general has also written one article. So in the next management voice by the end of this month, that will be also published. Now the e-copy is available with you. The print will go on Monday, and within 2-3 days, you will the hard copy also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Xavier sir. I again call upon Dr. Xavier to present the memento to the wonderful speaker of the day, Maria Kuriakos.
Shabi, yeah, Maria.
Yes.
Maria, as a token of our love and appreciation for your wonderful time that you spent with we are heading over a window virtually, and that will be sent to you by courier. It's a Aranmula mirror. If you keep that mirror in your house, again your business will go up and up and up every year.
Oh,
so
thank
that's
you.
a
Thank
lucky
you very much.
thing.
I really need it then.
Yeah, so we are giving you a very lucky thing, and you can prosper in your business. You can become another Sheila Kochasi. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Xavier. Let's come to the conclusion of this wonderful session. I call upon Mr. Pratap Varki, the Honorable Secretary, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Pratap, are you present?
Pratap?
No, sir. No.
Yes or no?
No.
So, sorry.
Oh, okay.
You do that, sir.
Let me call upon Dr. Xavier itself to deliver the vote of thanks.
Okay. So today's chief guest is Maria Sachin and other delegates who attended this program. As we know, it was a very wonderful session. I take this is a very golden opportunity for TMA, and I thank Mrs. Maria for spending her valuable time with TMA, and it was a wonderful talk. And in the coming years, you can see she's the best entrepreneur from Kerala, best entrepreneur from Thrissur, best entrepreneur from Kerala, best entrepreneur from India. And when she becomes very, very old, she'll be another Ambani or another Adani or another Bill Gates or some people like that. And Maria, I wish all the best and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you very much for the opportunity for the talk.
And I also thank our engineer Shaji, Francis George, and also our treasurer Shaji PJ for their welcome speech as well as for the appearing. And I also thank all the members who have attended this program. Thank you very much. And with your permission, this meeting is adjourned. With your permission, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Arup sir, thank you. Arup sir, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It was a very good program.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Achal sir, thank you.